So be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Let your whole body weight go down and gently close your eyes, please. So just focus to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound mentally, relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing. And let everything to settle down as it is. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in this meditation session, mainly we're going to practice tranquility meditation, which we call Samatha mental culture, and Vipassana mental culture or insight meditation. So in the beginning, we're going to develop a foundation to make our mind usable to analyze, so that analytical mind not towards this outside perception. So it's mainly inside 5 aggregates: form, feeling, sensations, formations, and the recognition. But as ordinary people, we used to practice and we used to do always to observe, ponder, look, search, investigate, attention, and put the intention, this all towards outside. So is it possible for you to just allow your mind to settle down without any kind of desire or intention or attention or towards outside? Just can keep it is within yourself. Because if you look very carefully, in the deeper level, that whatever you put the attention towards outside, it never going to bring anything to your life. Just it is passing the time. Just it is a moment of that comfort or maybe satisfaction. That is it. There is nothing else. Another thing is, it always bring you something else as a feedback. So then you go with it. So that is itself the very nature of the samsara. But how about, can you, this is a kind of like a secret. Can you hold a mind just one moment without putting attention to outside beyond you, can you keep the very limitation as your body, the boundary line as your skin? So if you are able to practice that way, and you will recognize there is something deeply within your mind, you're going to understand. Because when you settle down within yourself, within your body, so we use certain words, just only practice point of view. As example, when we say ourself, there is no eternal meaning, there is no eternal self like a body or inside this body. But for conventional communication, we use this. So when you focus to inside you, the mind start to feel more comfortable. And in that comfort, it settle down. It get out of the fear. It get out of the unsatisfaction. It get out of the desire. It get out of all the struggle or the resistance. And once the mind settle down like that way, your body, your breathing, your mind start to work as one with thoughts. So that is the tranquility state. In that tranquility state, the mind become more sharp and clear, and it start to activate to 100% itself without any idea or thoughts or habits or pattern bringing from your past. You are able to allow your mind to settle down itself. And for that, in the beginning, we use our own inhalation, exhalation as a primary mental object. So then keep focus your mind in front of your nose and your upper lip area, and allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen. So when the inhalation happen, recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Recognize separately. And also observe the entire continuation. This is the beginning, middle, and end, like that. And then some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just recognize that. And sometimes when you observe that way, you feel more comfortable and relaxed. And you feel more joy and happiness, and body become more light. But don't go with that. Just keep focus again and again, again and again. Keep to focus towards the inhalation, exhalation. Make it more sharp and clear. And sometimes your thoughts can disturb. Suddenly, even you don't know it is a thought. It's kind of like a dream. When you are dreaming, you don't know it is a dream. It is real for you. So same like, even you observe the inhalation, exhalation, sometimes suddenly thoughts can appear, and then even you don't know, you start to practice meditation. Now in the middle, you are having these thoughts. But suddenly, it can go away. So then why this kind of things happen? Because sometimes when you keep observing, and suddenly your intention or the attention or the effort start to become little by little lower, or you lose that. And then right away what is happening? then the thoughts come and overtake the moment. So that's why keep the sharpness, clarity again and again. Be very clear with you. Moment, just go with the moment by moment, moment by. Don't think about, oh, I practice 10 minutes, 15 minutes. No, just the moment. In the moment, in this very moment, bring your best effort. Stay there. In the next moment, bring your best effort. Just 1 second. So like that. Keep the continuity. Continue that. So that is how you can get out of that. Otherwise, you're thinking about maybe 10 minutes and then you get ready, and then in the beginning you take some time to settle down. Thinking, oh, last 5 minutes I'm going to do my best. So first 5 minutes maybe, then it become something else. So in the middle of that, what is happening, then suddenly the mind go away. And sometimes the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes become more clear. And then you become okay. I just feel so good. I recognize inhalation, exhalation. And then itself that you kind of like your success become your failure. The moment of success became your failure. So why? Because that moment you felt so perfect, and then you release it. You don't care anymore. And then sometimes time to time happening. Time to time mind is like a person that inside the water and going up and down. And sometimes mind feels so good, and then suddenly mind start to go here and there. Then sometimes suddenly, and there are some moments come from beginning to end, there's nothing, completely blank or somewhere else. And even that whatever that you used to keep doing during the day, even when you sit here and you keep going the same thing, it is just a physical action. That the only thing is, from your office chair maybe you come to a meditation cushion, but the mind continue. It's like the sometimes river go through different lands, but the same river, the same mindset. So then you have to be aware. Drop everything. Drop everything that related to your life. Just get into only the inhalation, exhalation. Be tough on you a little bit. And from beginning to end, moment by moment, keep the continuation and the completion. And in that completion with the continuation, and you gain the success. So that is tranquility state of meditation. And then when we go to the vipassana and we observe our own inhalation, exhalation, but in that inhalation, exhalation, you more focus to the four elements: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So then when the inhalation happens, you don't take it as an inhalation. Because in deeply in the vidarsana, there is no such a thing called inhalation. It is a conventionally, this all the names and forms. When it come to vidarsana, so just when the inhalation happens, see how you recognize it as sensation. And then you may see, you recognize it through the heat or the motion or liquidity or the heaviness or the hardness. And exhalation happens. See how you recognize it as exhalation. So in the beginning, you see it as a kind of like a outside nature. But deeply, it is a kind of mental condition. your mind, it's kind of like, as example, just imagine, it's like a telescope, microscope. So you see something through that telescope or the microscope. So in this heat, motion, liquidity and hardness is kind of like a language that can communicate with your mind. It's like a telescope or the microscope. That is how you recognize this entire universe. So then in the beginning, but you can sometimes you cannot get into the inside to understand this as a mental quality. So that's why as example it like this. So I hold this, then I feel heaviness. So in the beginning, what we does, we recognize that heaviness, it is coming from here. It's coming from here. But when you deeply, in the beginning, you observe and recognize, that recognition is necessary. You need that. That is why we keep practicing. But later you recognize that whatever the tightness or the roughness and the heaviness you gain, it is a mental quality. It is nothing to do with this. So it is that is how your mind recognize this. So the body is a kind of like the vehicle. The body is the tool that we grab, we hold, that all through things, this all the perception we grab from the body. But all over your body, the mind exists with the heat, motion, liquidity and hardness. So it is a more kind of like a mental behavior, psychological behavior. So when you observe the inhalation, exhalation in the beginning, just try to recognize the heat, motion, liquidity and hardness come with the feelings. And then sometimes you observe here, and then maybe your whole body start to feel in a, and according to the out of this four, you feel one quality. And maybe part of your body. So as example, you're observing here and maybe back of your head or the neck, or then you feel heavy. Then all other body parts, you don't feel anything, but only one place. And some people is like abdominal area. It's like a heavy rock, piece of rock, or maybe their legs. As you know, there are some people, they have, there are, you may know, sometimes our physical body accumulate emotions, energy, and stuck. Then sometimes you need to massage or apply some oil or balm or heat to release it. And sometimes when people worry, they have certain body part start to get pain. See that the worry accumulate it as energy. So that energy is the same thing, the mental quality, heat, motion, liquidity and hardness. Your entire body the same. So that's why when somebody, as example, when somebody have some emotional feelings, then the person start to feel back. So mostly like people get the cancer, and sometimes other organs failure and immunity attack. This come because of this heat, motion, liquidity and hardness not balance. It is not a physical quality that coming from outside. It is a mental quality that you develop inside you. So as example, you feel kind of like when you feel sad, you have back pain. So then what you do, maybe you put some oil or liquidity, see, then that it start to go away. Or maybe you put some heat pad and then it start to go away. Or maybe sometimes you need the kind of like some person to massage, then it's go away. So like that. Or maybe you have to jump to the water and then stay there a little bit. And then, so see, somehow through this all, what we does, that living means we just dealing with these four elements. It is a mental quality. So the nature of the four element always moving, always moving. So when the mind, because there is no such a place called mind, the mind has a nature come out of this all the four elements. The four elements are the building blocks when it comes to the material world. So in the Vipassana level, it is okay for you to take some time to understand it as introduction. In the Vipassana level, when you observe something, when you recognize as the feelings, sensation, or even as emotion, just see what kind of quality that what kind of the energy that you recognize, you feel. Heat, motion, liquidity, or heaviness, or the hardness. Just see. Then just start to analyze it, analyze it, analyze it. Be master to analyze it. Right away when you feel something, rather than going to details, in the surface level details, just recognize the what you get as feeling. As example, so there is arguments going. So then suddenly somebody hit you. So then if you're able to be a master to analyze, you're not going to focus to the person that hit you. You start to recognize the how the heaviness or the hardness or the heat activated in your body. So you have to go through first with analyzing your own body. When you become a master, even where there is a sound come, and maybe somebody says something nice, and then what is happening, you feel it, you hear it as a, you feel happy. So the happiness is a mental quality. It come out of the, so then according to your physical structure, and some people have the heat, motion, liquidity, or hardness, or one of these more high or low. So what is happening when you become happy means that all the mental qualities, this with the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness come to a certain level, certain rhythm. And when you get angry, it come to a different kind of level. It's same like that like music note. So when you recognize the music note and like a piano note, and then you know when you press which key and which sound come. So then what happens, once you have the key, that once you have that note, what will happen? Anywhere in this universe, you can play that same song. If the piano is correct and if you know how to press the, and then you get the same music. So the same like in your mind, that the four elements behave in a different, according to different rhythm. Then what is happening, if anybody know whatever the rhythm that, and when that person push that button, you get that feeling. If it is an angry button, then you feel angry. If it is a happy button, then you feel happy. So like that, we are kind of like a symphony. We are kind of like a music. And played out of the knot that created by the four elements. That is your mind. That's why the impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, this all come as the wisdom, because this all come out of the four elements. So through the vipassana, what you does, you start to read your own musical program. And once you're able to read it yourself, once you recognize it, as example, that when your heat go high, you get angry. And sometimes when the motion go better, you feel so good. That's why we say be cool. And when your inhalation, exhalation, that balance all the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So, and all the food, the whatever you eat, it balance your heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. And so somehow when that when you able to experience and recognize this is what happening, now you start to see your own mind as the behavior of the four elements. So then what is happening when somebody come to you and with the anger, and then you don't see the anger, you start to see that person mental behavior. You start to recognize that person heat high or the hardness high. So then if the hardness high, if your mind also come with the hardness, what will happen? 100%. There is no, it's nothing, it's never going to be 100%, it's going to be a fight. That's how it is. But how about you see the heaviness in the mind, and in that very moment you develop the softness. What will happen? There is no way that there is no way that the fight can happen, because that it balanced the two qualities. That is what in even in Aikido also, you know, the one of the great martial art, you know, when somebody get angry, another person become a receiver. The same principle through many other, in judo, you know, the many other martial arts, physical practice, people use this same thing, but it is so different, it is so advanced when it comes as a mental quality, mental development. When it comes through vipassana, it's there is no way any behavior. That's how even now you may understand how the Buddha, even with the animals, even with the people, and when they are in the heavy nature, and the Buddha become soft nature. And some people become so soft, and in that very moment you cannot become also soft. And that time sometimes you become strong, heavy. So there are incidents that happen with when the Buddha had the communication with the deities or the devas, and sometimes Buddha appear as the bigger than the ordinary physical form. So it is different. So that kind of way, all these four elements, that is why gaining, understanding, recognizing through this vipassana, that is how it's going to change your deeper structure or the understanding and the behavior of life. It is just not just closing your eyes and recognizing heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. No, because that is the building block of the physical world. So then, rather than that the living in surface level, you go and deeper recognizing that energy, that recognizing that behavior, and then the life become naturally And it is not with the effort. It's not, it's like you become like the wind, you become like the water. Because it doesn't anymore. Don't try to become, it just be. That's how it happened. When you master four elements and recognize, you don't anymore become, you just be. That is where the vipassana going to work. So let's practice a little bit. And in day-to-day life, whenever you have time, try to give it, try to practice a little bit. And there is a deeper lessons go with this, but you need some practice. It is just not by hearing, or I'm saying something. You have to practice. You have, when you practice, you gain something. So in that, always remember, whatever you practice with the vipassana, and get out of your past experience, and don't bound to any kind of teaching. So, oh, it should be like this, like that way. Completely, you have to keep the freedom, and you have to bring the maximum effort. You cannot be just half sleeping and do that way. So like that, the same principles that I every day mention. So apply that everything, and with that, let's practice a little bit. Okay, so your right palm on your left, your neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. Bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times, and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, and then later bring your attention to the four elements: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So in the beginning, deeply and gently breathe out 3 times, please, and find the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation in front of your upper lip area or tip of your nose. Keep observe towards inhalation, exhalation. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation and exhalation. Also, you may recognize some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just accept it. Focus to the four elements. Think your sensation or the feelings and recognize it. Heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. Rather than take it as a something, just observe it as a quality. Bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away. Already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one, out of anger or ill will, wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, and one of our student asks a question that is there any way without practicing meditation that we can gain the wisdom? So why we have to practice meditation? So it like this. There are many other ways we can get it. Listening to Dhamma and even preaching Dhamma, even discussions. Through that way also you can gain the wisdom, and enlightenment can happen that way also. But the thing is this, we have to develop our mind to that level. So we don't know about our past, and we don't know what kind of mental formations that already the our defilement in what condition. So through meditation you have your own effort to cultivate and uplift your mind. So when you practice meditation, it will help you to clear that everything and then bring it to a better place. It's kind of like when you try to when you go to get gas to your vehicle. When you just try to hold the pump and lift it. So what happening that the meter, the whoever previous person whoever took the gas, and you can see the price and how many liters and that kind of things. But when you lift the handle, what happening, it go away, it start to come back to zero. So the practicing meditation also like that. So whatever the conditions, the defilement, formations, setup, habits we came through, that everything going to come to a point zero. So then that is where your development happen. That's why it called the cultivation of mind, development of mind. Otherwise, how about the mind develop with the defilement or the mental formations already we have? Then we're going to be the same like this. It's not going to be better than this. So if we, in our past, if we had enough merit, so the clear mind, why we are here like this? Then we should gain because the nature of the mind, that once it come to the right place, you're going to see. So then still in our mind, we didn't come to that level. That's why we cannot see it yet. So then yourself, you have to understand, you are your own must, and you can measure yourself. Even in day-to-day life, whatever you recognize. How about why? And if later if you change the mind, if you become worried, and you have to look and you have to take it very seriously and think why you didn't see that danger or the failure in the beginning when you see it. It was there. It was there, but you didn't see. In a seed of the mango or the apple, there is apple that you can see it. That's why you plant it. When you go to Home Depot, garden shop, little plants, vegetable plants, you see the fruits there. That's why you bring it and plant it. So how about in day-to-day life when you see, oh, I like this, oh, I want to buy this. So when you have the idea to buy that, if you don't see end of the month your credit card bill going to come and you have to pay for that, what will happen? And you buy it later, when the bill comes, you call and you want to return it. When you buy it, why you didn't see the price? So it's like that in day-to-day life sometimes, because when you are capable to understand, when you see that, you recognize, then you no need somebody, you no need any Dhamma talk or anything, because you see it. So then you can measure yourself, how accurate you are in day-to-day life, how clear you are in day-to-day life. Can you live a day without making any kind of worry or the disturb? Or are you clear with the morning to night, whatever your bodily, verbally and mentally action? Go for it. Go with it. Be happy. Even you no need to practice meditation. You can just keep going whatever you keep going. But if you see you and whatever the mistake you make happening, keep happening again and again, and even the whatever you take it as a good, and then later you become worried, unhappy, sad, then you have to think of it very seriously, because it is nothing to do with anybody. It is our own responsibility. Why? Because I saw it as good. When I eat it, I felt it as so good. I had the craving to eat it, and even I paid for it and eat it. And then later, when you get sick, if you get a kind of like a disease, then if you worry about it, and if the doctors are, did you eat this for how long, they keep are you eating keep this, then you have to know, oh, see, I got sick, but still I didn't see it. So like that, with you all the bodily, verbally and mentally action, when your mind become clear, you don't need anybody else positive thinking or guidelines or anything, because you see it. And you don't need any interpretations or you don't need any authorizations, or you're not depending on some others' opinions. So that is where the mind, the meditation help for you to come to that level. Another thing is, remember, you can escape from anybody. Maybe see that sometimes people escape from prison. The people can do that. People escape from country. See, there are some people disappear from the country, cannot find out. And people escape from the prison. But you cannot escape from you. No way. So then you have to look who you are. because you cannot escape from you. Only way is understanding and recognizing who you are, who is inside this skin. It is not the that what you see through mirror is completely different. And that what you see as a monk here with my skin, with shaving head and wearing a robe, and bring here one person, I can make like this and sit, and even I can teach, okay, do this way, do that way, and then and everybody will say, oh, sadhu sadhu, this monk. No, you don't see that who is inside. It is totally different knowledge. That's what you have to understand. So, because if you don't see, then how you can escape from you? So that is the greatest, I think, that is the greatest challenge for ourselves. That recognizing the deeper inside, that the real person. That's why, sometimes, and we had this conference, and in they asked, what is is there any that kind of that if I think twice sometimes what it is in day-to-day life, and in my life what I saw, you know I I I used to teach me, in a different ways, different things, but still, I teach meditation, I teach sometimes yoga, I teach martial art, somehow this I used to work with people, but still sometimes I think twice. You know what? I told to them, people don't change. It's very hard. You don't need to change. It's kind of like, oh, you today like this and you become, no, it is not what I mean. The real person who is inside, and we don't see. So you don't see sometimes who is inside you. So then how are you going to change? In the surface level, through the culture, tradition, the law and order, the other everything, precepts, this everything, it's work. For that it work everything. But when we close our eyes, when we become alone, when we go to, it's like a turtle go inside the shell. When we go inside the skin, this, and sometimes even we don't recognize who we are. It is very difficult. But through meditation, there's no way you go to the bottom. That's why, especially like in this vipassana, in this recognizing these four elements, there's no way anything in this material world, physical world, there's nothing can hide from you once you start to recognize the nature of the four elements. Have you heard that the Buddha's mind, enlightened master's mind, they can see entire universe? It is not they're kind of like focusing like a light and see, oh, this is this is like, it is not like that. Because once you recognize the nature of the four elements, you able to see anything. That's why I mentioned in the beginning, that is the language for your mind. So it is because everything come out of the four elements. So it like this. So as example, okay, so this pen, It's come in a mail, the box with address and the deliver, the whatever the company and the sender and everything. So then if this come in a box, if I see the box, I can go into many details if I didn't open it yet. So if you don't see the four elements, it's like that. You just see surface level of details. Like as example, human body, you can go to part by part. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the lungs, kidney. So you can get into any parts and everything. And you can, because you see just the package. We dealing with the package. That's the conventional life, dealing with package. So everything in day-to-day life. It doesn't matter your husband, wife, children, friends and family members and all the situations in life. Look yourself what you're dealing with. You're dealing with these outside things, outside layer. That means you're dealing with the package. But this is what happening. When you open the package and when you see the pen, what is happening? When you see the pen, you forget that the nature of the package and the details let go, disappear. Anymore, it is not in you. It's all gone. It's you can remind it, but in the moment that you see the pen, that other everything go away. Same like when you recognize the four elements in the Vidarsana level, that all the details related to name and form disappear, because you see the what is inside it. But if you don't see what is inside, that you go with many things in life, all up and down, all that dualistic mind, good and bad, right and wrong, happy and worry, nice and ugly, this everything. It's like you're dealing with the package. But when when you see what is inside it, and once you recognize the four element, heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, when you see it in that very moment, you don't see the person. You don't take it as a person. You don't personalize the situation. That's why you come to a point to recognize it as a worldly condition, worldly nature. As example, when somebody angry, it can be your husband, wife, children, neighbors, or anybody, stranger or anybody. But if you don't see that, what happening, you go with this outside, and then that is where the people, conventional life, always, then you can name it, oh, that person blamed me, that person so nice, this person so good person. So like that, you can introduce. Why? Because you personalize. And then once it personalized, it belongs to that person. But when you are able to start to recognize the four elements, you don't going to personalize it to that person. You take it as a worldly nature. Right away, what is happening? Right away, you get out of the name and form. Another thing is, when you're able to recognize the four elements, heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, what you see, that normally in day-to-day life, that what we learn. So this is where the vipassana, when you practice vipassana, this is what happening. So mostly what we learn through them, okay, so we say this is impermanent. Why? Then you go with the details. And this is unsatisfactory, it has unsatisfactory nature. Why? Because it never going to make me kind of like a comfort or satisfied. Okay, this is it. Maybe when there is another pen come and then I go to that. And selflessness, this pen doesn't have any self. And then, and even the myself, when I recognize it as a pen, that also doesn't have a self. Why? Because that recognition come out of the form, feeling, sensation, formation, and recognition. In between this middle, there is no somebody or something come as self and play the role. So that is how we learn. But when it comes to four elements, when you are able to analyze it deeply, what is happening? You don't go with the this like that I mentioned step by step, step by step. You don't go with the material things. That when you see this pen, if you able to see the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, how it behave in this pen, right away you recognize impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness. So the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness inherent with the unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, and impermanent. So whatever come out of the four elements, it has unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, and impermanent. Now you have to go reverse the mechanism. Why this world we say it has an impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness? Why? Because this everything came out of the four elements. So if you are able to see the four elements and the behavior of the four elements, nature of the four elements, you no need to practice anymore. Unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, so impermanent within this pen. It doesn't matter million years ago there is a pen, or it doesn't matter after many eons there is a pen going to happen. It doesn't matter if there is someone say in the moon there is a pen. It doesn't matter, because you recognize that it came out of the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So once you recognize that, then what is happening? You're going to recognize it is related to impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness. So then just remember how the universe going to be impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, and the selfless. Why the universe is like that. So when we no need to go to the one planet to one planet by one planet, or even the cosmos to cosmos, or anything like that. Even the people 100 years backward or the million years backward or the forward, we no need to go one by one. Just now you know the very nature of the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, impermanent, and it has unsatisfactory nature, because always that all the four elements depending on each other. All the four elements, it cannot be exist. One element cannot separate from other three. So then this all the four elements depending on each other. And because of that, it never come to a solid position. It always change, always change. So that is the beginning of the building block of the entire universe. So you go to that and you recognize, and the selflessness. So all these four elements behave each other and depending from each other. So then one element doesn't have, even itself cannot exist. Even one element doesn't have a self. all the four elements depending from other tree, or one element depending on always another tree. So because of that, this everything come to a that the four element always impermanent and selfless, and it has unsatisfactory nature. So then come to the universe. If somebody say entire universe, and then you know it is material, it came out of the heat, motion, liquidity and hardness, then you no need to to think about unsatisfactory nature, selflessness and impermanent. Because once you recognize it came out of the four elements, it get out of the the desire or the lust or the grasping nature. Why? Because you know what is the nature of it, what is the behavior of it. And then somebody say, oh, after you die you go to heaven, so the heaven, in that heaven that you can have this, oh, that's mean if it is belong to four elements. So if it is belong to four elements, what is the sutra now? Now what is the method? It impermanent, and it has unsatisfactory nature and selfless. Why? Because it came out of the four elements. And that is why the Buddha mentioned there is nothing in this universe that can get out of the four elements. Only one place, that is the Nibbana. So your mind has a power. Always use this four element as the language to recognize anything. So then once you recognize that the very behavior and the nature of the four elements, and you're going to understand the entire universe. You no need to read books for that. You no need to hear the lectures for that. That's why within a second, see that you heard maybe after practice meditation that they attain to enlightenment, or they became enlightened master. See, some like that. So, but to get into that level, if you use your thoughts again and again, previous thoughts, what will happen? You're going to experience the same thing. So then you come to a point to first erase that all the accumulated memory from your mind and rescue your mind from you. Why? Because whatever you thought, that is the result of today who you are. So in this condition, we cannot go into that. Why? Because if it is so, then we already should go there. Then we have to have something else. That is what called dharma. So that is mean, dharma mean you not going to gain something and put on this. No, dharma means you completely become neutral and get out of it, become completely free from all the thoughts, patterns and the believing and things. And let the mind just to be the mind. Try it. In day-to-day life, whatever you do, just let your mind to be just the mind. And then you will see. So that's why you need to practice the meditation little by little, little by little. And then when you cultivate your mind to a certain level, very easily, you can drop it. You can drop it. You have to be matured. See, for children, and sometimes grandparents, you know, they give everything. You don't need to ask even. Even you don't know, they gave to you. They live, they write their last will, you know, and they before they die, sometimes they give everything. Your parents, they give everything to you. You don't know. And sometimes your parents keep hiding certain things. You don't know even. But how about a child? And holding a pen, or maybe little toy, just a plastic toy, can you take it out? If you try to take it, that child will cry, hit everything, throw everything here and there, you know, and give it to me. It is mine. Give it to me like that. And then once you give it, the child going to be so happy. Sansara is like that. Our mind hold it to things. We don't know that this impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness. But through meditation, even you become matured. No one need to even take from us. And like our parents, like our grandparents, give it to others. And when you become matured with the practicing meditation, you don't practice letting go. There's nothing to do with letting go. It is for children. That words, these things, letting go, forgetting, is children. Because when you see impermanent, there is nothing to let go. So that is where you're going to end. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. And also you heard that our president and have this coronavirus, and even though he didn't believe that, we have to understand we all are children of Mother Nature, and we pray for him, and because he is the president, so may he get well soon and all his family members be well soon. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi dikayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.